Hello guys, so you are aware that whenever we are entering into ECA, we have to carry out a fuel changeover. So from 0.5% sulfur, we have to come down to 0.1% sulfur fuel, and we have to carry out this fuel changeover through a systematic method. So there is a changeover method that is given on board. So we have to make entry into the Marpol record book, right, or the sulfur record book as per the company SMS.
To every marine engineer out there, from junior engineer to chief engineer and electrical officer, we all know that earning respectonship is very important. We all know fast promotions are very important, and we all know that इज्जत कमानी है, promotion चाहिए तो काम आना चाहिए, तो जूते पड़ते हैं, गालियां पड़ती हैं, and for that you need a good mentor. Sometimes we keep finding those mentors on board ship, अगर नहीं मिल रहे तो MNDFLIX है ना, Merchant Navy Decoded has launched a subscription model where you can find more than 30 plus courses with respect to your rank, helping you earn respect on ship. Please enroll on these free trial videos, watch these videos as per rank, and then decide whether you want to invest or not, with a very good flexible payment plan as well. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata.
So here this is a FOBAS changeover calculator sheet. I just wanted to share with you the changeover sheet has to and the data of this sheet has to be recorded. As per this sheet, the changeover has to be carried out. The changeover time you cannot mention from your own perspective. So temperatures have fallen down and this much is the time that it took for changeover. It has to be through the changeover calculator, and the calculation sheet has also to be included in the changeover record book. Okay, fuel changeover record book. So this is the fuel oil changeover calculator. Okay, this is called FOBAS calculator, FOBAS sheet. So you see, it notes that the calculator is designed for where you have to change over from HSFO to LSFO, ULSFO, LSMGO, ULSMGO, any kind of lower grade or the other fuels, distillate fuels. And this is the simulation of the blending process. Once you have shut off the HFO valve and once you have opened the LSFO valve fully, then only this calculation sheet works. Because you see, it is written that when you are starting the changeover, there has to be a temperature gradient in change is like 2 degrees temperature change every 1 minute maximum. That much you have to slowly open and close. Open the distillate valve and close the HSFO valve, so that the temperature decrease has not to be more than 2 degrees temperature decrease every minute. If you do it very fast, what will happen? There will have a tendency of the fuel to vaporize, and that the vapor locking can take place at this high temperature if you do a very fast changeover. So what the FOBAS sheet is saying, that via the FOBAS sheet you have to make sure that the temperature gradient is not more than 2 degrees per minute. And how you will have to do it? You will have to do by gradually shutting the HSFO inlet valve and opening the LSFO inlet valve. The time period is estimated time required from the time when the inlet valve of the HSFO tank is fully shut and at which the fuel oil circulating in the system has been diluted down by the LSFO incoming LSFO to the required limit value that is given by the Marpol NX6 in the ECA area. Any 0.1% sulfur oil has come into the system. The dilution has taken place for the ECA SOX limits. Okay, what we have to do to use this calculator? We have to fill the required data fields and select the correct sulfur limit from the menu and determine the time, and that sheet will determine the time to achieve that sulfur limit at the engine inlet. Okay, so this is a complete linear blending of the two fuels, which is undertaken through the practice. And although HSFO remains there in the surface, in the internal surfaces, it is only washed off together with any kinds of HSFO is caught and the line, and then it will be finally coming in the LSFO line. Okay, now the important thing is how to use this FOBAS sheet. Okay, so FOBAS calculator, these are the guidance notes. The second is the FOBAS calculator. So in the FOBAS calculator, you can see this is for the main engine. So for the main engine, you can see there is HSFO and LSFO, two valves given. Through the supply pump, you have to change over, and then this return line is going to the mixing column, and so this is the line where the changeover has to take place. Okay, so what it is saying, the rate of consumption is how much. So as per your fuel oil consumption at this speed, whatever speed you are transiting at, that speed you have to mention. So for day 24 hours consumption you have, at this speed how much is the consumption per hour you have to mention. Or you can take the flow meters beforehand so that you are aware ki how much consumption is taking place uh, in that period of time for 1 hour. Okay, so here in my vessel, in my case it is 1.55 tons per hour. Okay, in this service system it is already by the previous experience, it is that in the service system how much oil is contained as marked in the diagram opposite include all line like boost. So this is the service system. So before you do a changeover, the service system has how much oil. In this service system there is 1 ton of oil already present in the service system. That is the uh, oil with a higher sulfur content. So initially we are having a sulfur content of the oil is 0.49. The sulfur content that we will be changing over to LSFO or the ULSFO is 0.77. So this is the manual data that you have to fill. From the ECA SOX limit you have to, this is a drop down menu, which one we have to change over. So FOBAS calculator works both ways, right? If you have to get into the ECA, you have to select from point 1, and if you are getting out of the ECA from point 1 to point 5. So both ways, whether you are making an entry or you are making an exit, you have to see the time for changeover through the calculator. More important is the entry time, because from there you will be making entry into the ECA. After exit you are burning into say if there is say a little bit of change also, that is not very cautious, because you are already exited from the ECA. So important is this value. So when you enter this one, the through this consumption records, the value will be change over time to achieve the fuel oil sulfur value at the engine inlet is given in the FOBAS sheet. So through the FOBAS sheet you find that it will take around 1.8 hours. So approximately 2 hours your changeover will take place. So when you make an entry into the logbook regarding the changeover, so you start 2 hours prior the ECA entry to changeover, so that you whenever you are reaching the ECA entry before entry into the ECA, as per this sheet your changeover is complete. So this is your valid data that you will have to show the PSC or anybody who has board the vessel, the Marpol police, that yes, my ECA changeover was completed before the vessel made entry into the ECA areas. So this is very critical, because these days in if you even if you are crossing nearby to the ECA area, you are just transiting through the ECA area, say in the area like Gibraltar. What happens is, if you are crossing the Europe area in the ECA area, they will monitor you through the drones, and these drones are taking the images from the funnel, and those are, through that they are calculating the sulfur limits in the exhaust, and from that they can catch your vessel. So in case you are, even if you are transiting through the ECA area, if you are just passing by the ECA area, make sure that you are following the changeover schedule correctly. So in the boilers we are not doing the changeover, because the boilers we are running on LSMG only. In the auxiliary engine, same like you have to do the changeover. So rate of consumption in auxiliary engine is 0.38 tons per hour. Right now I am running say one auxiliary engine, so or two auxiliary engine, I have to show in this one. So two auxiliary engine I am consuming 0.38 tons per hour. The fuel oil quantity remaining in the system is 0.5 tons. The sulfur content is 0.49. From there I am coming to 0.77. 0.1% is the selected value, and at that engine inlet, to achieve this 0.1%, I'll take 3.7 hours for auxiliary engines changeover. Okay, so that has been calculated with the service system from the internal volumes of the components of the pipes multiplied by fuel oil density divided by 1000. That is the service system. So this value, service system value 0.5, has come from this fuel oil quantity T. Here T is equal to sum of the internal volume of the components units in liters multiplied by density divided by 1000. So that will give you kg, or the amount of fuel contained in the service system. Okay, changeover time is given in increments so that it will be convenient to note at 0.1 hours, the 6 minutes intervals, and a minimum changeover has to take at least 18 minutes. So before 18 minutes the changeover cannot take place. You need to at least maintain this time. Okay, minimum value for the service system is 0.1 ton including mixing column, and the maximum calculated changeover time can be 200 hours. So when I have calculated this data for the summary, you can go into this. For main engine it took me 1.8 hours for the changeover. For the boilers there is no value. For the auxiliary engines it took 3.7 hours for the changeover. So that is all about the sulfur fuel oil sulfur record book entry and the FOBAS calculator. How will you know that you have to do changeover, at what time you will make entry into the logbook, and you will completely assured that your correct changeover has come. So this is the sheet that will help you to make that correct entries. So FOBAS sheet here has to forward religiously, and the values uh, entered here have to be correct. Their printout has to be filled in or kept in the Marpol record book. Plus say you have to say notice is given, so 6 hours or 8 hours prior, the depending on how much time your changeover is taking place in your kind of vessel, you will ask for a notice from the bridge. Okay, so notice will be tendered to you beforehand, say 6 hours or 8 hours prior, so that you can make necessary adjustments, necessary calculations, necessary requirements for the complete changeover to take place, say prior entry into ECA. So prior 1 hour, 2 hour before entry into ECA, your complete changeover has to be take place, so that you put your position, whatever position you are putting into the logbook is correctly before the ECA entry. Okay guys, thank you. In the next section I am going to discuss how you will enter into the logbook about the ECA figures. Okay, thank you.